addressing the issues with your town, Gist.
This is the original town of Gist, or this is with all the issues currently standing. This is your abandoned coal mine, your farm fields, your rangelands, your suburbs, your forest, your historic downtown, your center downtown, and your actual continuing site for downtown area. Your water treatment plants, your coal power plants, and you also have a wetland area here. So we decided to add more things to this current area. There used to be an old coal power plant that used to stand here. So we decided to move this power plant over into this area so that way it could power the city without having so many carbon emissions near the schools that are already standing. We added a water treatment plant here to keep the water clean because that was one of the main problems with the schools since it was near an abandoned coal mine. We no longer want this to just be an abandoned coal mine that be in use anymore. We wanted to add solar power plants so that way it could provide energy for the school, the hospital, and some parts of the historic downtown area. The rangeland has issues with overgrazing and which causes soil erosion. Due to that area, we limited the amount of cattle and animals that rest there so that way we could keep your soil healthy and alive. In your farming fields, you had issues with water runoff into this major stream and pond here. Therefore, we decided to add a drip irrigation system. That way the water stops and gets recycled and can be reused, which not only saves you on water, but it helps save the water treatment. In the center downtown area, you had issues with urban heat islands. Therefore, we decided to add green roofs here. We decided to add apartment complexes so that way it reduces the amount of commuting that was going in and out of the city. And we also added bike paths and we also added green roofs. We collected water here from the new water treatment that we have here to support these green roofs. These apartments are not only located inside the city, but they're located inside the suburbs. We kept our industrial district the same because we felt that it was not causing any problems to your town. In the wetlands, you're losing biodiversity. That is because of all the tourist attractions that are going on there. Therefore, we want to limit the amount of tourism that was happening. Therefore, we keep our wetlands stable and we wouldn't have any more problems. In your forest area, you have people that are going to come in and cut some more trees down. Therefore, we decided to protect the other half of the forest by not clear cutting the entire forest. We are going to use a process called selective cutting, which means that you allow trees to grow at the same rate and only cut a few of them so that way you won't be just cutting random pieces out of the forest. We hope these changes benefit you as the entire town. There are many changes that could possibly go, but we feel like these will be the best ones that will benefit you from years to come. We hope that you enjoy this next presentation, Town of Jisk.
Hello, my name is Kennedy Gerald and I am your energy and mining consultant. Your two problems were the water in the local river contains excess nitrates and phosphates. As a result, algal blooms have been spotted and the local fish population is slowly decreasing. Citizens are concerned because this is limiting fish and recreation, which is important to their local economy. Your second issue is that heavy metals have been found in local wells of homes surrounding the coal mine. All citizens that live in these plots are dependent on well water for drinking, including the local schools that are found there. Once again, this is Kennedy, your energy and mining consultant. Your first issue was that nitrates and phosphates are slowly going into your streams, decreasing biodiversity, and the number of fish are slowly dying. We suggest that you guys need to change the way that you guys are farming. Once again, this is Kennedy, your energy and mining consultant. Regarding your issue with nitrates and phosphates in your local rivers, you guys need to change the way that you guys are farming. We suggest adding GMOs or a drip irrigation system. Nitrates and phosphate from your fertilizers is what is killing your fish very, very slowly. We suggest adding a drip irrigation system to save more water and benefit your plants. Your second issue was that the coal sludge from this old coal mine is getting into the water system, which is affecting your local schools. We suggest clearing it out, After you clear it out, we suggest adding in sources of power such as solar plants. This will benefit your historic downtown, your schools, and your hospital.
Hello, my name is Grayson Watson. I am the agricultural consultant of the town of Jisk. Two main problems in agriculture are one, the aquifers on the outskirts of town near the farms have been greatly depleted, and the water table is running at an all-time low. And number two is that farmers are asking for loans because their crop productivity is too low to cover all their costs. And farming fields have been prone to severe soil erosion. And over the past 3 years, farmers are still heavily reliant on industrial farming, monocultures, and fertilizers. And many of the farmers are uneducated, so they don't really know about GM crops. So they're very hesitant about the idea.
Yeah.
I made a few changes in the farming area, and some of the changes are drip irrigation, which saves water because we had the sprinkler system, but that wasted thousands of gallons of water. So you have that, and as you can see the water flowing through the panels right here, so it saves water, and the water is recycled. And we use GMO crops so that we wouldn't have to use fertilizers, because fertilizers produce excess nitrates in the water, and that's not good because of water pollution. So I also included that.
Hi, my name is Sydney, and I am the city planner for the town of Jisk. The two main issues that you had for your city was that the urban downtown area has the highest temperature of any downtown area. Citizens are also complaining about the poor air quality of your downtown area. As citizens are seeking more and more space, they are moving to local suburbs, and that brings me to my second issue. Carbon emissions and obesity have been spiking for the past 3 years. These citizens are increasing, so they acquire land, two-car garages, and large homes. As a result, commuter time is increasing, and so has the construction of roads and the cutting of local forests. We made a lot of revisions in the downtown area. We added recycling. That means that as more people move into the cities, we can reuse a lot more things. So when you recycle your bottles and your cans, we can have more stuff available and more resources available. We added an apartment complex in both the suburb and downtown area. So that way, as more people move into the cities, you can have more living space. And more living space means we can add things such as green roofing in both of those areas. Green roofing means it solves your problem of urban heat islands. Urban heat islands, keep in mind, are the amount of heat that goes into cities due to concrete. By adding trees and plants at the top of these buildings, they absorb the heat instead of reflecting it. When you have a high reflective rate, that means you have a high albedo. That is why we added white pavement. White pavements do not absorb heat as much as regular asphalt does in normal streets. Therefore, it reflects that heat and it can go into the plants located in the plants on top of the buildings. We added a water collective service next to some of these buildings so that way as rainwater falls and extra water runoff goes, it can support the green roofing at the top with these plants. We added electric cars so that way it wouldn't use as much carbon, which would reduce the amount of carbon emissions located on the going in and out in the city, which is due to commuter time. We added public transport. By adding public transport, that means that it reduces the amount of commuter time because it reduces the amount of traffic going in and out of the city. Overall, this will entirely help the town of Jisk. We added a park in the center of the city, and we also added bike paths so that way people can commute through the city and as well reduce the obesity rates that have been going up for the past 3 years. We hope these changes have benefited the town of Jisk in a way that you, as the townspeople of Jisk, have wanted for the past 3 years.
Hi, my name is Serena Collins, and I'm the town's EPA rep. Two of the issues that we'll be addressing today is one, the wetland that was once a major tourist attraction is now losing biodiversity and is not currently a protected land. The second issue we'll be addressing is outsiders are trying to convert the local forest into a timber yard. If this were to occur, the county would not have any land to convert into a national forest. The outsider timber company also advocates for clear cutting as a preferred method to harvest the trees. The timber company is open to purchasing only half the timber yard, which is appealing to the county since it would create over 720 jobs for the next 3 years. For the forest, we will be cutting half of it for jobs and reserve the other half for protected lands. There will be no clear cutting. Instead, the method used will be the shelter wood method. Benefits of this are not removal of all of it, but just the most mature. It builds up the size and amount of advance in the regeneration, ensures regrowth and survival of the selected trees. Wetlands. For the wetlands, we will be making them protected land, limiting tourism, eliminating the invasive species. GMO crops will reduce fertilizer runoff and water degradation. This is beneficial because it will preserve the wetland and the species that are there. For the rangelands, we will limit the amount of cattle on land at one time due to the severe soil erosion. This will limit overgrazing and keep the rangelands healthy for future generations of cattle.
We hope that these new revisions have benefited you environmentally and will help you in the future.
Thank you for listening to our public service announcement.